Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk about depression, divorce, and PTSD and how writing helped me deal with these issues. Years ago, I was married to a woman who was the center of my universe. She came from money and was always talking about not having enough and me never being home. I got out of the Marines to spend more time with her and get a better paying job. I eventually ended up driving a truck from North Carolina to California every week. I wasn't home much, but the money was stupid. Back in 1989, I was bringing home around $1,400 a week. That's probably equal to around $3,000 a week by today's standards. To make a long story short, I came in from California on Valentine's Day, 1990. I had the usual cards, candy, flowers, and a stupid-looking teddy bear for her. When I walked into the house, it was basically empty. My wife had left and had pretty much cleaned the entire house out. She left all of the bills in a pile on the kitchen table with a note that said, "It's been fun, have a nice life." She hadn't paid the house payment, my truck payment, or credit card bills in over 2 months. I was within 2 weeks of losing everything. She wiped out our savings, but was nice enough to leave me $300 in checking. I'm not gonna lie, I was devastated to the point of suicide. By the grace of God, my wife's best friend happened to stop by. She saw the house and read the note. She was blindsided too. All I'm going to say is that she saved my life that day. She became the only friend that I had. My wife had ran off with the only other friend that I had. Dealing with severe depression. I got a job locally and just focused on work and riding my bike. It seemed to help clear my head and take my mind off of how I was treated. Just a side note. My female cousin made a good point. It's good to try to give your wife everything that she wants, but it's more important to give her what she needs. For at least a year and a half, I just rode my bike, went to the drag strip, and worked. Nothing else. I eventually met a great woman who had been abused in a marriage that she had just gotten out of. We were just friends for several months before we got serious. I eventually went back into the military. My wife was cool with that. This is kind of a tough one. Anyone who's had deployments and spent any time outside the wire can relate to what I'm going to touch on. Sometimes we have to fight those demons that constantly pop up. Seeing a handicapped 13-year-old girl with a suicide vest on that was remote detonated in the middle of your buddies, killing 4 and injuring 6 others can leave images that you just can't unsee. Or getting hit by 2 different IEDs and shot, kinda linger in your memory. Or seeing the Humvee that's in front of you run over a pressure plate IED that basically vaporized the gun truck and everyone inside. Being caught in a complex ambush, and your buddies are getting smoked and lit up to your left and right. You wonder why you didn't get hit or killed, but your buddies did. There's a certain amount of guilt. These are just a couple of things that have a nasty habit of popping into your head, especially at night while laying in bed. The wife kept telling me that she thought that I had PTSD, but I just ignored her. I thought that I was okay. While at the VA, the wife mentioned it to the doctor. They did some test and said that I suffered from severe PTSD. The VA started giving me meds to try to suppress the nightmares and help me sleep. They marginally helped. To be totally honest, I actually felt better when I was riding my bike. I saw on YouTube that certain chemicals were released while riding. It said that riding a motorcycle is a mental workout that releases endorphins, dopamine, epinephrine, and modulates cortisol and DHEA, while potentially increasing testosterone. This neurochemical cocktail boosts focus, reduces stress, and enhances the overall riding experience. This is probably the reason why I love to ride so much, especially taking long rides whenever I can. I always feel great when I get home, but maybe a little tired. Several hundred miles in a day isn't uncommon. The beauty of this is that the wife actually encourages me to ride. I think that she understands the mental benefit. I'm probably a little easier to live with, because I'm not stressed out when I get home. So yeah, I honestly think that riding is great for your mental health. All I can say is that it's helped me through the toughest times in my life. Again, thanks for stopping by and checking out my video. If anything here resonated, made any sense to you, or was anything that you could relate to, please give me a thumbs up. Stay safe out there, and ride.